Alright, let's talk about the brushes real quick. These blending brushes really fun. The reason I did this, really several things. One, for a lot of people that are doing a little bit more simple inking, people that want to do inking with stencils, and of course a lot of people that work in their planners that still have the fear of the blending tool. Even the mini blending tool, even though it looks so small and harmless, there's people that are still absolutely petrified of the blending tool. So things to know about working with the inks. If I go in with a blending tool is designed to easily blend. I can pick this up, tap this in, do my circular motion, and I'm off to the races. I'm good. I'm ready to go in and blend. And I can blend all day long, no problem. And I love this tool because this does allow me to blend. This allows me to do the edges of cards and books and all of those things. But sometimes we want just a little bit of ink. Sometimes we're going to do other little tools. I call it Jeannie. The boss is here. Almighty.
Pressure's on.
Yes. No. You see her work. Are you kidding me? It's a lot to live up to. All right. So when it comes to working in stencils, if you work with a blending tool, a couple of challenges. One, if I go in with that foam, I can pounce that down. And what happens when you pounce a blending tool is usually you end up with that circle. But even if you're careful and you try to kind of lightly twist with that, the foam is going to get caught up in all of these little details of a stencil. That happens, which I think is why stencil brushes are so popular, right? People want another way to apply ink, and I realize that there are a lot of brushes out there. So this is why I did the brush the way I wanted to do it. I was certainly inspired by a trip to Sephora with my friend where I saw a wall of brushes and I was fascinated by all the shapes and sizes and handles and things. But I really liked the idea in a brush that didn't want you to have a bunch of inky brushes that you had to throw it in a bag. What are you going to do with that? Because now the handles are inked and everything else. So I love the fact that it has a lid, but that lid is going to expose a natural bristle brush. Okay? It's not synthetic, it is natural, and it is designed to actually flare out when you apply it. So if I wanted to use my stencil and ink in a small area, I can work with my Distress inks or Oxides. Now, if you're going to switch from one to the other, all you have to do is clean this off on a baby wipe. You don't need to run it under water, you don't need to do anything. You can simply wipe this off and you can go from ink to ink. So that's a nice feature, thanks Mario, other than working with different blending tools. Now I have one devoted to each color family, right? They're sold in a 2-pack, but I have one for red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and brown. And these all fit in a mini tin, 7 of them. Convenient by design, of course, because we still need a place to put them, right?
Did you see that eye roll?
I know, because otherwise, you know, if you have them in a bag, you're going to dump out the bag, and then what happens? Then these just roll right off your table. I'm like, okay, we need to kind of figure that out. The color is just done because we took a bit of washi tape, masked each side, and just took our distress paint and painted a band on there. So now at a glance, I know what's what. But here's how they work. If I'm going to go in with some color, I can just take this and I can swipe it right onto my ink pad. I can go into the stencil and I can go in a circular motion or I can pounce. It does not matter, right? Because of those natural bristles, it is not going to create a mark on your paper no matter what. And I'll show you a few ways that we can blend with these. Now I love the fact that I can add my color. That's pretty easy. And if I'm going to go from, say, pink to red, I can stay with the same brush because I'm in the same color family, right? So I can take that, let's position that stencil back down, and now I'm just going to add a little bit of red. But here's where things got interesting, because I did realize that depending on what you were doing, you may want to do something a little bit more open or a little bit more detailed. So to close this, you're going to slide this all the way up. That's going to cover the bristles. There's these little bumps here that will hold the lid, and then these bumps that will hold it closed. All right, so now you can throw it in. But now we want to add some highlight. We want to add a little bit of yellow to this flower. Now you already saw when I opened this up, we have this brush that when I go to apply it, my brush flares out. So if I want to go in and ink the small part of this flower, normally I would need a smaller brush. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to bother to look or try to find that smaller brush. So all I'm going to do for this is designed to slide up and totally change how your brush applies the ink, okay? If it's all the way back, it's going to flare out my ink. If it's all the way forward, it's going to make this almost like a stipple brush, right? So now that's going to allow me to take that ink brush, line up my stencil a little bit, and now I can focus that color in the smallest area, just like that. So now I don't have to worry about changing this whole flower orange. I'm able to focus it. So you get to control how stiff that brush is by where you slide this guy. That's why I designed it that way. So now we've got this great blend, this ability to create that color with the brush. That's what that's all about. It makes it really, really simple. Now, maybe you're not stenciling, right? We didn't call them distress stencil brushes because you're like, what if I'm not stenciling, right? We still have the ability to ink. So for people that still don't like to ink or are afraid of inking or just don't have that light touch where they want to add the color, that's what's cool about the blending brush is I can take any color, brown, blue, pink, whatever I want. I can pick up my color, and if I want to ink my edges, I can just go right in with my brush and just go for it. I don't have to worry about starting off the edge. I don't have to worry about circular motion. I can just start adding my color. And immediately, it's blending. Super, super simple. So to create a quick background, to create a sky, to create grass, to create any type of background, easy way to get ink, and I'm not worrying about lines, but maybe I want that really cool distress edge that I see happen. We can still do that, right? We can ink this up, and then all we have to do is now slide this to the front. So now we're gonna make this more of a concentrated brush, and now I can just go on that edge and add a little bit more intense layer of color. So now I'm getting that gradation of color, but I don't have to figure it out. The brush did it. So that's why I just felt that we need a blending brush. We need another way to add our ink. And then we still get to cap it up, and we don't have to worry about messy brushes, flared out brushes, 7 different sizes of brushes. Which one do I want for this? It's a blending brush. You blend it. So